Okay, so I want to go over some tips and tricks for you brand new drivers out there. Those of you that are brand new to the industry or you're looking to get into the industry, I want to go over some tips and tricks that I had to learn on my own, really. If you're looking to go into the industry, do your research first. Find out what company is closest to you and see if they have a brand new driver program like how Swift does. Will put you through their academy and help you get your CDL and stuff like that. But do your research first. I went to Swift. Well, actually, I went to Central Refrigerated before I knew they were merged with Swift. But I went in under the assumption it was still Central Refrigerated. But anyway, do your research. Find out what's closest to you. Find out what their requirements are. Real easy companies to get into are Swift, CRST, CR England, Kelly's Transport. There's another one, Prime, but Prime you'd be on your trainer's truck for quite a while, which isn't always a bad thing. Just look up your nearest, biggest company, because the smaller companies don't want brand new drivers. They want drivers with at least 6 months experience. Now, if you're already in the industry and you're brand new, you're either on your trainer's truck or you just got off your trainer's truck. And this applies to the people looking to get into as well. Especially if you're training, ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can, because that is your trainer's job. I know, because I was a trainer. You may get that trainer that it irritates the shit out of them, that you just won't shut up with questions. But you know what? It's their job. I had times where it irritated the hell out of me, but it was my job. So I had to answer questions. Questions as simple as, why is a yield sign yellow? Yellow is an attention-grabbing color. Pretty much, that's all it is. That's why most road signs are yellow or orange, because they're attention-grabbing. Ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. And if your trainer cannot answer your question, you find somebody who can. Call your... I'm going to use Swift as an example because that's what I went through. That's who I drive for. With Swift, if your trainer cannot answer your question, one, you can go ask other drivers. And if your trainer gets upset, tough shit. Because I've had students that had to ask other drivers to get their view of what I was teaching, because they just weren't grasping it the way I was teaching it. So sometimes you just need a second opinion. If you can't get if your trainer cannot answer your question, you can ask other drivers. Or with Swift, you have what's called a driver coordinator. They're basically your driver manager while you're training. With Swift, like, if your trainer cannot answer your question, and if you want to go straight to calling your driver manager, go for it. That's their job too. That is their job to answer any question that you have. Swift has no problem giving you information if you ask for it. So on top of asking questions, you need to practice, especially once you get your own truck, because with Swift, students are only on a Swift trainer. They're only in training for 200 hours, and then they're eligible for solo status. As a student and as a trainer or a mentor, I don't think 200 hours is enough. I think you need 250 to 300. That's just my opinion, though, and it actually used to be that way. It was like, I think around 5 years ago, it was 260 hours, something like that. But a trainer's job is just to basically build your skeleton, and it's your job when you get that skeleton to apply the muscles and the nervous system and the circulatory system and the respiratory system. Like it's basically your job to make sure you stay alive in this industry. Okay? Because 200 hours isn't enough. On paper, that's 21 days. Well, 20 days actually. Because if you drive 10 hours a day, and that's 200 behind the wheel hours. So that on paper, that's 20 days, but you're going to have at least 2 34-hour resets in those 20 days. So realistically, it's 23 to 25 days. Sometimes longer. I had a student on my truck once for, I think it was 35 days, but that was a combination of him not getting his hours in, my truck needed to go in the shop, and freight was slow. So, and once you get your own truck, make sure you have what is necessary to have on that truck. Like an extra gallon or two of oil, coolant, windshield wiper fluid, extra fuses, extra glad hand seals, extra headlights, low beams and high beams, extra windshield wipers. Because anything you can fix on your truck yourself will save you massive amounts of time. And I don't know how other companies are, but Swift, they don't really like you working on your own truck, but at the same time, they're not going to reprimand you because you took the initiative to keep yourself rolling and to keep their truck rolling. So, if you do have to do a repair, just note it in your post-trip, or yeah, that's pretty much the only spot you can note it. And after that, your first 6 months, especially with Swift, your first 6 months is basically the honeymoon stage. Swift will run the shit out of you, almost to the point where you want to quit because you feel like you're working too hard. But after that 6 months, they're going to slow down. Like, your miles will drop. So, and even during your first 6 months, you need to be on top of your driver manager, or your driver leader, or your dispatcher, whoever it is. You need to be on top of them and let them know that you want to keep rolling. You need to let them know that just like everybody else, you have bills to pay. Whether that's not. If your cell phone is your only bill, so what? They don't know that. So let them know you are just like every other person in this industry. You have bills to pay. You want to average X amount of miles a week. My suggestion would be to average about 2,800 miles a week, especially during the spring and summer, and especially if you're running refrigerated. I went to refrigerated because refrigerated is damn near recession proof. People gotta eat. Plain and simple. But you need to be on top of your miles and make sure you write everything down. Okay? And just continue to learn. Continue to ask questions. If your trainer didn't show you how to chain, learn how to chain, even if it's during the summer, because you're going to need to. Most places enforce chains from November 1st to April 1st. That's a long time to enforce chains. That's 6 months. That's 6 months. 6 months out of the year, your truck has to have chains on it. And that's only, and in some places, it's 8 months. So, I think, like Colorado, I think in 8 months out of the year, your truck has to have chains. I could be wrong, so let me know if I'm wrong. I haven't been in Colorado in a while. But most of the things you're going to learn will come with time. Especially if you're training in, say, like a Kenworth T680 and you end up getting a Freightliner, well, there's a learning. You're going to have to spend another week or two learning that truck, learning what it can and can't do, learning its turning radius, learning how it consumes fuel. Like, everything in this industry is a learning curve whenever you make lateral movements. But a majority of the things you're going to learn, you will learn while you're on your own. You do not spend enough time, at least with Swift, you do not spend enough time on a trainer's truck to learn what he knows, he or she knows. So if you're new to the industry, or if you're looking to come to the industry, just do your research and remember to be safe and have fun.